If you want to know who's actually going to win the trillion-dollar AI war, you really need to look past the software and understand the silicon. Welcome to this TrendGuards Explainer. Today, we're digging into a massive, officially confirmed infrastructure play that is fundamentally reshaping the global artificial intelligence landscape as of today, July 6, 2026. We are dealing with verified facts and official filings that reveal exactly how the physical backbone of general intelligence is being built, and honestly, more importantly, who is building it. Okay, let's dive right into this. $28 billion. That is the number you need to pay attention to right out of the gate. According to a confirmed report from Reuters, South Korea's semiconductor giant SK Hynix has officially launched a historic $28 billion US listing on the Nasdaq. Now, this isn't some rumor or a speculative forecast. This is a concrete market move happening right now. They are securing an unprecedented multi-billion-dollar war chest. To understand exactly why this is happening and what it means for the entire tech sector, we really need to break down the mechanics behind this move. I want you to notice the explicit timing and framing from this Reuters report. Published on July 6, 2026, this sets the undeniable journalistic authority on the sheer scale of this event. SK Hynix isn't just participating in the AI industry, they're executing a highly deliberate financial strategy to capitalize on it at a massive, massive scale. To see exactly how they're doing this, we have to look straight at the paperwork. The crucial proof is right here in the official South Korean regulatory filings for the KOSPI and Nasdaq depository receipts. SK Hynix has officially submitted for 17.79 million new shares. And this is a brilliant geopolitical and economic maneuver. By launching this specific depository listing on the Nasdaq, they're bypassing smaller markets and tapping directly into the absolute deepest pool of venture capital on Earth. They're doing this to fund an absolute moat in the industry, effectively pricing out their competitors before they can even get a foot in the door. And check this out, 273%. That momentum illustrates exactly why they're acting right now. The company's stock has surged a mind-boggling 273% this year alone on the Seoul KSP index. SK Hynix's leadership clearly recognized that waiting around was a liability. The global demand for AI inference, which is the actual stage where AI models run and interact with users around the clock, is skyrocketing, and it's creating an insatiable demand for hardware. This 273% surge gave them the exact leverage they needed to pull the trigger on this aggressive $28 billion move. This totally shifts us from the financial data to the actual engineering necessity that's forcing this massive capital raise. Because, look, everyone is obsessed with raw processing power, right? But compute is literally useless if you can't feed the brain fast enough. And that brings us to HBM, or high bandwidth memory. Instead of placing memory chips flat on a circuit board, HBM stacks them vertically. They're connected by these microscopic wires that are genuinely thinner than a human hair. This architecture allows data to travel thousands of times faster while consuming only a fraction of the power. It's absolutely crucial. Giants like Nvidia and Google literally cannot survive without this specific component for their AI systems. Think of standard memory like trying to fuel a 2,000 horsepower hypercar engine through a tiny cocktail straw. The engine just starves. Advanced reasoning models process data so incredibly fast that traditional standard memory practically melts under the pressure. HBM, on the other hand, acts like a 3D vertical skyscraper with massive data elevators. It removes the physical bottleneck that constantly threatens to paralyze AI inference. Without it, top-tier AI systems are just, incredibly expensive paperweights. And here is the verified market reality that ties this whole shebang together. Right now, SK Hynix is the exclusive gatekeeper of HBM. They've successfully outmaneuvered massive rivals like Samsung and Micron to become the undisputed market leader in HBM production. They aren't just riding the AI wave, they're the ones building the surfboard that the rest of the entire industry is forced to use. Before we talk about the factory itself, we really have to contextualize the sheer historical scale of this listing. When we analyze the top global corporate share sales, SK Hynix's $28 billion raise is officially tracking to be the second largest corporate share sale in human history. Let that sink in. It sits only behind SpaceX's $85.7 billion, and it completely eclipses Saudi Aramco's legendary $25.6 billion IPO from 2019, as well as Alibaba's massive 2014 debut. We are not just looking at a standard corporate fundraising round here. So what exactly do you do with that kind of capital? Well, according to the official SK Hynix corporate capital expenditure strategy, they've confirmed a staggering 100 trillion won investment drive. That translates to roughly 64.38 billion US dollars. They are unleashing this massive wave of spending concurrently with their US listing to build the largest semiconductor fortress the world has ever seen. And we actually know their exact technological targets. The declared corporate strategy outlines the construction of entirely new, state-of-the-art chip manufacturing complexes. These new facilities are going to be dedicated specifically to next-generation NAND flash and, crucially, those ultra-dense HBM architectures we talked about earlier. They are taking this massive influx of money from Wall Street and sinking it directly into the physical infrastructure required to maintain their monopoly on the AI compute bottleneck. To put that into perspective, here is how this hardware actually moves through the global supply chain today. It starts with South Korean manufacturing at SK Hynix. From there, it links directly to Taiwan's TSMC packaging facilities. And finally, it goes straight to Nvidia's shipping hubs in the United States. South Korea is moving incredibly swiftly to cement its status as the foundational bedrock of this century's technology, aligning directly with TSMC and Nvidia to strictly lock down the global supply chain. Let's zoom out for a second to understand the macro impact of this industrial expansion. The absolutely crucial takeaway is this: the barrier to entry in the AI race is no longer just intellectual, it's purely physical. The era of vibe coding has made software incredibly cheap and accessible. Practically anyone can try to build an AI application right now. But the physical foundations required to actually run that software, those are hyper-monopolized, immensely capital-intensive, and violently competitive. While companies like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and Meta fight on the battlefield of software, the gatekeepers of the physical infrastructure are quietly acting as tax collectors for every single prompt and AI agent deployed globally. Ultimately, the hardware owns the reality. Which brings us to the ultimate question. SK Hynix's $28 billion listing isn't just speculation, it is a concrete industrial reality cast in silicon. But will rivals like Samsung and Micron be able to catch up to this massive infrastructure monopoly? Or has SK Hynix literally just locked down the AI chip wars for the next decade? Let us know what you think. Make sure to subscribe to Trend Guards for more verified, deep dive technical breakdowns. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.